Hello, and thank you for joining me. This is Joanna, the Medium channel, and I'm Joanna. I am your medium and also an intuitive coach. These are going to be your general messages for September 2017. Few things before we go into your reading. First and foremost, thank you so much for coming back. For those of you who have been my loyal viewers, thank you so much for coming back, and thank you so much for purchasing your private sessions. I can't thank you enough. And I do what I do because I love helping all of you. So thank you so much. For those of you who are new, I hope that you find what you like here. Perhaps you were guided by a fluke to come to this channel, and hopefully the messages that you hear will resonate with you on some level. Because these messages are general, they will not resonate with all of you. And sometimes they will not resonate with you at all. Sometimes certain parts will resonate with you, and sometimes the whole message will resonate with you. And from my experience over the last almost 2 years of doing these videos, what I'm getting from you is that they're substantially turn out to be quite personal for you, and I love hearing that. But if you want a private session, of course, that information is down below for you. And for those of you who are getting back to me and asking me questions pertaining to the general message readings, I cannot get back to you and I cannot answer your questions because these are general. So it's impossible for me to tune in to every single individual. And even if someone does connect with me and ask me a question about a video or message in a video, it's impossible for me to get that information. Also, for information or for videos that are long term, you can of course go to my Vimeo On Demand page, where I have videos from July until the end of this year posted. That information is also down below for you. Also, on Monday, September the 4th, on my show, radio show, I will be interviewed by my beautiful friend Stephanie. She was on the show previously, and she's going to throw questions my way. I have no idea what they are. This is a complete surprise for me as far as what the content of her questions are. So stay tuned. This is going to be an exciting show because I have absolutely nothing as far as prep time. It's just going to be what it's going to be. So tune in. And for those of you who can't tune in, that show will be posted. I will post it on this channel, so it will be available for you to listen down the road. The information on the show, if you want to listen to it live, is also down below. And if you want to book a private session, there is a icon that will appear to you right there at the top, or there's information regarding my booking or the way to book appointments. Also, that information is down below for you. And you can see the name at the bottom of the screen, joannathemedium.com. You can go into my website or to my website and contact me from there. And last but not least, I am expanding, I am changing. Spirit is pushing me in a new direction, a more expanded direction. So over the next few months, you will see a lot of changes to my site, a lot of changes to the way I work, huge additions that will benefit you. So over the next few weeks, I will post a video on what those changes will be. And it's exciting for me because it's going to be offering a lot more services for you. So stay tuned. And I think that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for liking, sharing, for subscribing. I hope you like these videos, and let's go on and start your reading for September. Stay tuned. Hello, beautiful Leos. This is going to be your reading, your intuitive reading for the month of September 2017. I have 5 cards. 2 of them I don't know what they are because I'm kind of picking and choosing as my intuition tells me with each different sign. So let's see what we get from those. But there's a few channeled messages that I have when I was connecting with your energy. So one of the first things that I saw is that many of you are exhausted and emotionally spent. So whether this is something that's coming up in the month of September or something that is been going on for quite some time. I hear the word evolution, so I feel like it has been going that way for a while. I feel like the month of September is really going to highlight that feeling of lack of emotional stability, and exhaustion, emotional exhaustion seems to be the critical point here. So I saw you are also coming full circle. Many of you are just about to come full circle with something. You're not quite there yet, but you are on the way there. And this is something that will, for the most part, be visible to you. It's a bit of the beginning of the end. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Sometimes it's a great thing. Sometimes when you are in a situation where it's like, oh my God, when is this going to end? You can start to see that the end is near, but the release isn't just at your ability to grasp it. So I keep hearing October. So I think something is going to happen in the month of October where you will come full circle. I don't feel it's going to be in September, but the exhaustion and emotional exhaustion is certainly a theme for some of you or many of you in the month of September. When I asked Spirit what your soul is wanting to manifest at this time, I actually heard stability. So there's something going on where you are not feeling stable. There is a part of your life or an aspect of your life that's lacking stability or making you feel you are not firmly planted on, your feet are not firmly planted. Could be relationship, could be job. There is a lack of satisfaction or general dissatisfaction with something that is in your life or around you. I also saw that there was an inner turmoil happening within you, and the turmoil has to be with endings. So has to do with endings. So you may be contemplating an ending, a decision that will end something in your life, or you are foreseeing the end and you are not sure how to go about it, or you are foreseeing the end and you don't want it to end, but the trajectory that's being shown to you is that it's kind of inevitable, and that may be causing you the emotional exhaustion. And what I'm being told here to say is that flexibility is required right now, and I wouldn't do anything drastic, or the message here is don't do anything drastic just yet. Let this all play out, and I feel eventually you will, it's almost like I'm seeing the train is still not at the station yet, but eventually the train is going to come in, and that's a metaphor. You'll step on the train and you'll take, your journey will begin. Your journey will begin very shortly. So when we end things, or when we come full circle, that chapter closes and another one opens, which signifies new journey. But it's not yet. It's almost there, but it's not yet. I also felt that something needs to change within you. There is, because you're feeling stuck. So physically something has to change. Something has to change within your relationships. Something has to change within your work environment. Something has to change within a dynamic of a relationship of some sort. It could also mean that your perspective needs to shift. So something needs to change in order to get you out of where you are, or the feeling of stuckness. And sometimes we can be in a situation and all is needed is a change of perspective. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes we change our perspective and then we realize, oh my God, this is all of a sudden not what I thought I want. So there's a shift that's needed on your part, whether the shift is going to transpire for you or whether you take action in order to have this shift. There's a feeling of contemplation that has to take place, and I'm being shown I'm being shown the Hermit. So there's a need for you to go deep within in order to decide truly what you want and what is important to you. And based on that, you will make some choices or decisions. Some of those will be drastic in order to get yourself out of a situation. Now, what did I see here? What else did I see? Yes, I also saw some of you walking away after a long contemplation. So some of you have been sitting on a decision. Decision to leave something, leaving. It could be, you could leave many things. You could leave a relationship, you could leave a job, you could leave a friendship, you could leave town, you could leave your house where you live, you could leave living with your parents. We could leave many things behind. We can also leave our old belief systems behind. But I saw you walking away after a long contemplation. So there is something that you need to decide based on what is really important to you and whether what you are getting is aligned with that for you. Okay, so that's the message. Oh, and I saw the number 5 and 11. So two different things. 11 is about judgment. So some of you may be dealing with a legal situation, or there is something in your life that is going to play out in fairness to you, and some situation that needs to be fair. There's the judgment, or could be legal, could be things needing to be squared in a way that leave you feeling more balanced. So there's a need for equilibrium. That's how I'm going to say it. 5 is number of changes. So the changes will transpire, then you will reach the equilibrium. It's almost like one cannot happen without the other. Okay, so let's move on to the cards. So the first card, the energy, general energy, is the 7 of Pentacles. And it kind of showed itself that way to me. And I've learned that when it's kind of this way, not this way or that way, it has different meanings. So 7 of Pentacles, regular, upright, it's about patience, planning, it's a stability thing. But because it's shown to me kind of on the side, it's telling me that something that could be perceived as stable is fundamentally missing something. Okay? And this something may be what is causing the emotional exhaustion within you. It may be something that you have been contemplating about, or you need to change your perspective on. But there's something fundamentally missing in your life. And because it's a Pentacle card, it's either financially connected, so jobs or security. This could be relationship or health. Either one of those. And health is the smaller portion of what I see. I see relationship and job. I see actually relationship, the bigger part. Jobs for some of you is the smaller part. So for some of you it's jobs, some of you it's relationships, and I hope it's not both. So there's something fundamentally missing. And to others it may seem like everything is okay, but to you there's something missing. And they're saying here, admit to yourself so. So maybe you are in denial. Maybe you are choosing not to admit this to yourself, because then when you admit it, then you have to do something about it. But it's almost like it's kind of there and you're choosing not to look at it for whatever reason. And I feel the reason why you're choosing not to look at it, because it could significantly impact that relationship, whether work or your relationship. If it's to do with health, maybe there is something that's been bothering you, but you don't want to get it checked out because you don't want to find out bad news. Well, if that's the case, please don't wait, because that's never a good idea. Ever. Because if you're going to find out bad news, you might as well find out sooner so that you can get it taken care of, right? I mean, yes, easier said than done, but don't let fear stop you. I also hear it's not as bad as you think. So I think that's for the health component. For those of you who are getting headaches, I feel that you need to get that checked out. It might be as simple as you missing some nutrients or some, what's the word, please? Minerals in your body, and you're not getting enough of something, and it may be giving you headaches. For others of you, it's much more substantial than that. But there's something in your life that you need to address. The next card you have is the card of Thinker. So this is Colette Reed's cards. And this card talks about strategy. So when I was meditating on this card, what did I write here? Because I wrote a whole bunch of information. This is about you looking at your situation in logical ways, in logical terms. It's about following the path of least resistance, using your logic. It is what this card is saying here is you have all the information at your disposal already. Look at what it is and take the information at face value. Don't look for deeper meanings. Don't look for some esoteric signs. You have all the information at your disposal, and everything you have is showing you or pointing you in the answer that you're looking for, but maybe you don't want to see it because you don't want to address it. So if you are dealing with something in your life that's causing you a bit of, discomfort, keep it simple and look at what is in front of you. There's no need to look any further. In other words, the evidence is right in front of you. So if you're needing to address something, if you're needing to face something, and you're hoping some other, esoteric message will come to you, the message here is you've got all the evidence. Use your logic. Look at this logically. Think about what's going on and then proceed accordingly. Okay? The next card you have is Ganesha card, Child Expression. So this is very much about hearing your inner voice, allowing yourself to hear your inner guidance. Getting back to, I'm going to rephrase, it's about honoring, I wrote some stuff here, honoring your inner child, listening to your intuition and trusting it. So if you have all the evidence in front of you, right here, the Thinker card, your intuition will tell you exactly what is best for you. Your fears may tell you, no, wait, maybe there is something else. So this is about keeping it simple and also listening to your intuition and not only hearing it, but trusting it. It also is about acknowledging your desires and your needs. And what do I write here? Ask yourself if your desires and your needs are being met, and be honest with yourself. There's no need to pretend, because when we pretend, things end up not working in a long run anyway. So this is about being very honest, being very, it's about being very honest in what your needs are and desires, and looking at what's currently happening in whatever the situation you're dealing with, and asking self, are my needs and desires being met and fulfilled? Now, I am not suggesting that somebody's going to magically appear and fulfill your desires and needs. That's not what I'm saying, because that's a lot of pressure on another person, and that's not fair. But if you're in an environment where let's say if you're in a relationship and it's kind of flat and you're just keeping it going because you think that's just, it's just let it be status quo, and your needs fundamentally are not being fulfilled and desires are not being fulfilled, and they will not be based on the situation, because sometimes we come with people for a reason, that those people serve a purpose, and then they leave, or we leave. Sometimes that happens. So this is about you being very honest with yourself. If you are in a work situation and you are working really hard and you're seeing that something is not there, and you're honest about yourself and you see all the evidence in front of you, and the evidence says that you're fundamentally not fulfilled here and there's no chance of that happening, there's no point in denying yourself that truth, because the longer you stay stuck in that place, the longer it will take for you to find happiness somewhere else or with someone else. And I'm not suggesting you leave anybody, of course, but there's something here going on here that you are either not willing to admit, or you are afraid of taking the next step. And the next step could be as simple as asking yourself, well, what is missing within me that puts me in this situation? So everything always goes back to you, always. Now, 2 cards where I don't have any information on because they're face down. Some of you love them, some of you hate them. I love them because they give me an intuitive hit and I have no numbers or things to look at, which sometimes confuse me. So the first card is this. So I'm going to hold it and let me know if this resonates or what message you get when you see it. The thing I am looking at the most, it glows for me, is this. Okay, so I'm going to tune into this card. Right away, when I tune into the card, I hear have faith. Everything is in divine order. Everything is pure perfection, even though it may feel like it's chaotic. But the biggest message I have here is have faith. Also, listen to your heart and listen to your intuition. And take heed. I don't know what take heed means. I think it's take action, if I'm not mistaken. So please let me know what that means. Take heed. I think that means take action. The colors here are also important. This is yellow, and there is some blue here, okay? So the yellow here to me signifies the solar plexus. That's all about confidence. The blue is about expression. So what I feel is happening here is that you might be holding yourself back because you are suffering from challenges around confidence. Okay, so if you are in a relationship or at work where things are not being met for you fundamentally, or you are not fulfilled, and you're not doing anything about it, you're essentially holding yourself back, and it could be because you don't feel that you can do better, do more, be more successful, whatever that may be for you. There's a challenge here with confidence and you expressing your individuality. So some of you may be holding yourself back, but the message here is have faith. The next card is beautiful. I think another sign got this card. So check your sun, moon, or rising. No, this is sun. Check your moon or rising and notice if the card comes up. So notice what you feel about this card. When I connect with this card, I feel like this light wants to suck me in or suck me out. You see, this person here, the body position is such that this person is afraid. Looks like they're actually terrified. They're terrified what's happening. Looks like the person is underground. It's quite dark. And then there is this swirl of light, and there is this opening that leads to who knows where. The person doesn't know, and maybe that's what's frightening. So let me just tune in this card and see what I get. There are opportunities out there for you. Allow yourself to attract them. It's almost like, again, the feeling is, because of the body here, is whatever you're dealing with right now, I feel that you are stuck. And something is happening where it's this progression of circumstances that is the beginning of the end. And I think this is what scares you, because it's inevitable. Yet at the same time, there is an opening in the situation, or there is light at the end of this that leads to something far greater and far brighter. And I hear the words, give yourself a chance. That's really interesting. Be yourself fully, for you are missing what is rightfully yours. And what's rightfully ours is the ability to love and be loved and have a wonderful life and experience. And if we hold ourselves back, we will not be able to fully experience that. So that's the message here. Again, the number 11 comes up, and that's number, it is judgment, but it's also the number for me for balance. So Spirit is asking you, Spirit wants stability. That's what I have here. Spirit wants to manifest stability. And stability comes from within first and foremost. And then, of course, stability comes from outside. But if you do not feel stable within, if you feel life is terrible, if you feel afraid, if you feel not significant, if you feel not worthy, if you feel all those things, life will reflect that back to you in various ways. So it's time for change. You're coming full circle with something. Okay? I hope this makes sense. I wish you a wonderful month of September. If this doesn't make sense to you, maybe bits and pieces will make sense to you. Otherwise, listen to your other signs. And of course, if you would like a private session, that information is down below for you. Thank you so much for watching, for sharing, for liking. I'm always very grateful. And thank you so much for subscribing. I look forward to seeing you in October. Take care. Bye.